Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. First and foremost, before we begin, I just want to apologize for being late. We did have one or two technical difficulties going live, but we are all good now. We're all good to go. Hope everyone's doing well. But yeah, please forgive me for being late. I hate being late. It drives me insane, especially when people are late for me as well. So massive apologies if anybody was waiting for the stream. Got a few comments in here already. Shankly saying no worries, fella. Big up, Shankly. Is the connection any good or not? Oh no. All right, we'll always be here, never walk alone. Thank you, mate. Let me try connect to something. Give me 2 seconds. Let me know what guys, please, because I can see that the connection thing keeps popping up. Everything's running perfect. Right, how about now? Is this any better? Let me know, guys, because yeah, the connection thing keeps popping up. Let me know if this is any better, please. I think we might be good. I've just checked it on my phone. I think we might be finally good to go. But how are we doing, guys? Sorry for that really poor introduction. It's been all over the place. Just flipping, rushed back from work, jumped on here to talk about these contract situations and everything that is going down. So hopefully we're all good to go finally. Daniel says better for me. Sean says yeah. Yeah, again, real massive apologies for the stuff. What? No. Real massive apologies from myself about that. Everything's just been manic tonight, but we are just going to get straight into it. I'm not going to dilly dally around without any hesitation. Mark says it's okay down in Worcester. You know, Vocalone. Big up, Mark. Hope you're good. Before we get into the news and the updates and everything that's been going on today or last night, actually, slash today, slash breaking news that came out in the last sort of hour or so, make sure you smash the like button, guys. We are starting to do more regular live streams. We're going to be live streaming all the time, especially in the international break when there isn't much going on. I've got plans to bring special guests onto the show. I've got someone already lined up to come on. Connection is a bit laggy. Ewan says, I hope it sorts itself out. There's not much I can do about it right now, but once I get off the stream, I'll try and make sure it's all good for the next one. Let's just get straight into this and see if it sorts itself out. Hopefully it will. Liverpool close in on new deals for Jarrel Quansah and Ibrahim Konate. Now, this isn't necessarily news because this came out yesterday. This came out last night. We're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it because all of these quotes were aggregated, right, from all sorts of different accounts. And I love Twitter aggregation accounts. I was part of the Anfield Talk, which for me is the best Twitter aggregation account. Was one of the first to do it. I think they've been going since around 2014. And for about 2 years, I had the privilege of basically being one of the main admins on the account, doing YouTube streams and all of that stuff. So, I won't have a bad word to say about aggregation accounts. The only thing that I will say is you have to read the context and you have to read the full article to get a full idea on what the news is and what the update is. Because if you just read the headlines, the little snippets that people put out, it can all seem doom and gloom. So we're going to delve into this now. We're going to look at what Paul Joyce said last night, and then we're going to go into some stuff that came out today. But before we do that, please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get this on the way. So obviously, he said that Liverpool closing on new deals for Jarrel Quansah and Ibrahim Konate, which we all know by now. And actually, Quansah has just been announced with his new contract, so we'll get onto that in just a moment. But talks are underway to extend the contracts of two defenders, but the club is still at an impasse with Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Virgil van Dijk. Now, I think that word impasse has sent everyone into a sort of frenzy. I think the word impasse in that context sounds very bad. And I think a lot of people might have sort of, looked at that and thought, oh, well, they've tried to negotiate, they've rejected. It's all doom and gloom and that. But apparently, from what we can read, the door is still open and they're still negotiating. And They're still trying to agree terms. And we'll get on to another update from Fabrizio Romano in just a moment. But what I would say, guys, is let's not just act like this is all doom and gloom. There's still a long way to go until these guys can start talking to clubs. So there's October, there's November, there's December. So it's not really that long, really. But 3 months, anything can happen in 3 months. Like, we didn't know Konate and Quansah were going to sign extensions until last night, and it came out of nowhere. So what I'm saying is, like, yeah, you can say time's ticking, but also at the same time, something like a positive development could happen at any point. And that's what I'm saying. So let's not just act like all these free players are going to go and we're not going to get a penny for them and it's going to be disaster. Let's just, be sensible with it and see what happens. So Quansah was close to agreeing a new deal last night, and Konate is also going to get one. The Liverpool head coach Arne Slot said on Friday that there was no update on the futures of Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, who were all out of contract at the end of the season. That situation, one inherited by sporting director Richard Hughes, is far from ideal, and the overtures to other members of the squad are partly motivated by a desire to prevent a similar scenario from materializing. Now, I think that's interesting because obviously we know that Richard Hughes walked into this team and the contract situations were the way they were when Hughes came in. I just find it interesting how Richard Hughes is the one getting all the criticism or the blame for this. This situation has been going for months/years before Richard Hughes even got the Liverpool job. Trent Alexander-Arnold should never have got down to 18 months, let alone 1 year left on his contract. These sort of players, you get them sorted when they've got 2 years left. You don't wait until they're down to the final 12 months. You might be thinking he's a local lad, he's a Scouser, he's been here since he was 6. He's the vice captain now, but he's going to accept terms. That's absolutely fine. But football isn't like that anymore. Not every player is going to be Steven Gerrard. Not every player is going to not, be put off by Real Madrid interest in other clubs like that. I hope Trent is, and I think he will stay here. But, what I'm saying is there's no guarantees. So you can't just rest on your laurels and think, oh, Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to extend. We don't know. So this should have happened a long time ago for me. I think Richard Hughes does deserve a little bit of criticism maybe to how we've handled the summer window and the Zubimendi fiasco and all of that. But with the contract situation, this was way before Richard Hughes. This is not his fault. This is just him trying to make sure that we get what we want. And, he's trying to basically agree terms with a 33-year-old, agree terms with a 32-year-old, and agree terms with a 25-year-old, 26-year-old. I think he's 26 today, isn't he? So let me tell you why all these three are different, right? Because everyone's like, oh, you're renewing Konate and you're renewing Quansah when we're still at the big three. It's so much easier to renew Konate and Quansah's contract. Like, these guys had a couple of seasons left. They're not expiring immediately. They're young. They're not on crazy money. They're easy contracts to negotiate. All you have to do, put a price on what they're going to be paid. Maybe get like a signing on fee, agent fees, all those kind of things. How many years? Done, and then they're signed. With Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, especially, if they sign for Liverpool for another, say, 2 years, this will be their last big extension with any club probably in Europe. Like, they're not going to get a better or bigger one than that. Maybe Mo Salah will if he goes Saudi at some point. But like, what I'm saying is, especially at Liverpool, this will be it for them too. So this is a huge contract for both of them that they will have to get right. And you don't want to be in a situation where you get it wrong and you're left with players that are maybe not, what they were, and are money that doesn't reflect where they are. And I don't think that will be the case because Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah, I've said it so many times, they're not normal 30-plus-year-olds. I think these guys could carry on playing for 3-4 years at the top. So, yeah, I just feel like they're very different scenarios. Trent Alexander-Arnold is completely different to the other two because what you're doing with him is you're trying to give him an offer, give him a contract which fits what we want to do, but also is enough to stop him from being tempted by Real Madrid. So I think they're all very different. And people that have been moaning, saying Quansah and Konate, why have you renewed their contracts? They'd be the first people to moan where if this situation happened again in a year or two's time, we'll be in the same situation. So I think the Quansah and Konate stuff is very, very good, very positive. It's trying to make sure that we don't get another 12-month left scenario. And all of the contract situations that I've just spoken about are all very different to each other. So I think that's the way you need to look at it. Bon says, VVD and Salah will play top level until 35, 37 easy. I 100% agree. And that's why I do think Liverpool will get those two done. I do think those two are the ones where I think they'll stay. Trent is my big question mark, and I'll get onto it in a bit. But let me know what you guys think as well. Keep the comments coming, keep the interaction going. Let's have a conversation about this. I like talking. I can talk about Liverpool all day long, but yeah, I like to have a conversation as well. So make sure you leave comments. Any super chats will obviously be priority. You don't have to send them. If you did, it would of everything else, but I will try and get through every single comment that I possibly can. Smash the like button as well. Quansah enjoyed a breakthrough season last term, making 33 appearances for Liverpool. He was unbelievable as well last season, and earning a call up to the England training squad for the European Championship. One of the best things Jurgen Klopp did before he left for us was develop Jarrel Quansah. He sort of left with like a departing gift, like, oh, I'm going, but here you are. Here's this really young, really good, potentially world class in the future centre back for you to use. So that was really nice. Let's carry on reading until we get to here we go. All right, here we are then. The developments are welcome, although at the same time will not distract from the continued impasse with Van Dijk, Salah, and Alexander-Arnold. There has been contact between the club and the representatives of all three players, but talks have not found common ground. So there's obviously been the conversations, and for whatever reason, the talks that Liverpool have had with the players so far have not matched what the players want, which I guess is the whole point of negotiating, isn't it? You don't go in with like the offer you think the player's going to accept. You try and go in with one where you know, let's get the conversation started. Then maybe we give another one and then we'll have a final one. Maybe I'm not a businessman. I don't know how these things work, but no one would ever go in with the final offer as the first offer. But like, here you go, Mohamed Salah, here's 370 grand a week, 3-year deal. There you go. There's always going to be a bit of bargaining and a bit of negotiating involved. So it's not really surprising to me that the terms haven't been agreed straight away from the first conversation. I think that's completely normal. And yeah, he also says, meanwhile, the Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson is set to undergo a scan on the latest hamstring injury he has suffered, which has left Slot fearing he will be sidelined for weeks. So yeah, we do need to talk about Alisson Becker at some point as well. So that was the news and the update that Paul just dropped last night. You know, we all sat here thought, you know what, nice little international break now. It's not nice. Nobody really likes it. But we don't really have to stress about Liverpool anymore. But no, this is all we're going to be talking about for the next 2 weeks now. So strap yourselves in, buckle up. And yeah, we will continue to talk about all the latest transfer news. Fabrizio Romano, this is the big update from today. But before I get into that, let's get into some of your comments. If Trent did end up leaving, who do you think will be his replacement? Is Bradley good enough to replace him? No. I like Conor Bradley. I really like what he's done. But for me, no. Not as a starter. Maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know. But I feel like Bradley isn't suited to Slot system as well. Like when Trent goes in through the middle and starts playing these really nice passes, I don't think Bradley's set to do that sort of role. And that's no, discredit to Conor Bradley. He's just not that sort of player. I think Bradley's more of a traditional fullback, get up and down all game long, put some crosses into the box. Yeah, that's that. But Trent's more technical. He dictates the game a lot more than Conor Bradley would. And you require Trent to do a lot more on the ball than Conor Bradley. Conor Bradley's a decent passer. He can shoot, by the way. He can cross. But I think you're looking at Trent Alexander-Arnold as like generational, the best I've ever seen. And then Conor Bradley is just a very good option to have. So if Trent in the let's just say hypothetically he does leave for Real Madrid, who would I bring in? I don't know. But one thing I do know is I don't think I'd want Jeremy Frimpong, because a lot of people think, oh, he's a right back. But where he plays for Leverkusen, it's basically right wing / up front, He's literally one of the furthest players forward for Leverkusen, and I don't think that would work for us. So I'm not sure, but if you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments who you think would be a good fit for not backup, it would be first choice, wouldn't it? Or if you think Conor Bradley is good enough, then again, just let me know if you think Bradley's good enough to replace Trent. I personally don't. And I think if Trent was to go, we'd have to break the bank for a big, big right back. LFC 78 says if Trent doesn't extend, it will be a disaster, and no doubt FSG will get away with it. They'll replace him with Bradley, and all will be good again. I disagree. I think if Trent Alexander-Arnold would leave Liverpool this summer, they'd have to go and get somebody, because what would we have? We'd have Conor Bradley, Do we have another right back? Gomez. Oh, Calvin Ramsey. He's also out. Is he out on loan? I believe he's out on loan. We didn't sell him, did we? But yeah, there's no way that Trent would leave and they wouldn't get in another like specialist right back. I don't see that anywhere. Could be wrong, but yeah, thanks for your comment. And Bond says Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the league, but for the last 18 months or so, he has picked up many injuries. Yeah, it's always been the case with Alisson since the season we signed him, really. Well, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We've had so many injury-prone players. So many of our great players have also been injury-prone. But Alisson Becker, he's out again, and maybe that's just something that the club was looking at when they were so desperate to bring in Mohamed Salah. You know, Alisson's not getting any younger. These injuries aren't stopping. So why not go and bring the best young goalkeeper in the world ready to go for whenever that time comes, where Alisson moves on. But yeah, Fabrizio Romano dropped a update today. This is the big update that came through. With Van Dijk, Trent and Salah, the situation remains the same. They are negotiating, but there is no breakthrough in talks, which we knew. But then he says conversations are still ongoing, and I can guarantee, Fabrizio says, that all three players are given priority to Liverpool. So Fabrizio seems to think, and again, these kind of reports, it just depends who you believe, who you listen to. Everyone's got that one sort of journalist or person that they listen to and believe. But it depends what you believe. Do you believe what you see? I don't know. But Fabrizio seems to think, and he's pretty certain, that all three players want to give the priority to Liverpool, which basically means all three players, their preference is to stay at Liverpool. But obviously, the money and the offer, that whatever they do with the deal, it has to be right or they'll go. That's basically what he's saying. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, you see all these people going on about Trent, he's gone and he's doom and gloom and all of this, and it very well could be. You know, Trent is my favorite player. I said this on the last stream, but you know, the door's still open for him to extend. And we've just got to hope that, you know, he comes to his senses and he realizes that this is his club and he's going to be captain in 2-3 years' time or whenever Virgil leaves. And yeah, let's hope that he has a Stevie G moment and he extends, and that's that. Liam says they have to renew at least 2 of the 3, Trent and VVD at least. I agree with this. People ask, like, if you could only renew 2 of them, who would you pick? And I think that's the impossible question. And before I tell you why that's the impossible question, there's 62 of you guys in here. I'm not sure how many likes we're on. I'm going to check on my phone right now to see what the likes are saying. And if we haven't got a good ratio, then you guys are going to have to smash the like. We've got 19 likes. So let's get those likes up first of all, guys. It really helps push these streams out. And obviously, when I finish the stream, it will go up as a video. And it will just help push that out to more people. So please make sure you're smashing the like. It would go a very long way. But yeah, that's the impossible question, isn't it? Because you've got the best centre-back that, if you're my age, you've ever seen at Liverpool. We've got the best forward. Yeah, I don't know. It's Luis Suarez and Mo Salah. For me, ability-wise, Luis Suarez is number 1. But when it comes to consistency and scoring goals and winning trophies, nobody comes close to Salah. So you've got the best centre-back, the best forward, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's just a freak of nature. We've never seen a right-back like him in this country. So how the hell, when people say, if you can only extend 2 of the 3, how am I supposed to pick 2? Because all 3 of them have been absolutely immense and absolutely incredible from day one, from when they all came in. You know, from when Trent came in as an 18-year-old, Klopp put him in those Champions League qualifying matches against Hoffenheim and put so much faith in him to replace the injured Nathaniel Klein, you know. Other managers like Pep Guardiola, who apparently have just got away with something today. I've not really read what they've got away with, but there we are. They'd go out and they would have just spent 50 million or 60 million on another fullback. But Klopp put his faith in this kid that we had. Virgil van Dijk came in. We had to wait 5 months because obviously Klopp went and met with him privately, and that's not allowed and it's against the rules. We had to wait 5 months for Virgil van Dijk to come in, but we did because he's the best centre-back, and we knew he was going to go on to be the best centre-back in the world. So it was worth the wait. And then obviously Mohamed Salah, branded as a Premier League flop, had to go to Italy to kickstart his football career, and then just became one of the best forwards we've ever seen in the Premier League history. So how do you pick 2 out of 3? It's impossible for me. If you can pick 2, fair enough, but I can't. Every time I pick 2 and I leave one out, I'm sat there and I'm looking at the other one thinking, I can't leave them out. But yeah, let me know if you can only extend two, who are you picking and why? A lot of people seem to be leaving Salah out, and a lot of people seem to think that Salah is replaceable. I don't believe he is. I really don't believe he is. I'm looking at that right forward market right now, and just the talent pool of right-sided attackers, and I'm not seeing anyone really that's like for like with Salah, or maybe that would be the thing. Maybe we don't go like for like. I don't know. LFC Shankly says, not sure on Trent leaving after fist pumping the win at Palace. The thing is, if Trent does leave to go to Madrid, he's not going to act like it. He's not going to just start being sad, and he's not just going to act any different. He's going to be the same that he's always been. He's not going to give anything away if he's going. So I don't think we can really read too much into the way he behaves. LFC says, I don't mind if Salah leaves. Mind you, I wouldn't be as mad as if Trent and a VVD left. We have to throw the bag at Trent. Trent is, for me, I think Trent is the number one priority. That's the one that I think if I could pick any of the three to extend, I would pick Trent. I think I would. I don't know. Again, I'm doubting myself now because Virgil's so important and so is Mo. Do you know if wage structure has changed? Salah wages might be too high. I'm not really too clued up on the wage structure, but when we get a journalist on here who will know about that, you might want to save that question for him. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but we are in talks at the minute with a journalist that I know. Well, I've got a decent connection with him, so watch out for that stream whenever it comes. It will be here within the international break for sure. So if you've got questions like that, save it for him. And yeah, it will all be good. Out of the three, I would let Trent go, but VVD and Trent will get new deals and Salah will leave. That's what I believe. Where do you think Salah will go? Do you think he'll go Saudi, or do you think he'll stay in Europe? If he does go, it will surely be Saudi, won't it? Because obviously their like end goal, I think, from this whole project is to get Mo Salah involved. So if he was to go, I'm pretty sure it would be Saudi. LFC says we can replace Salah with a clinical striker and a creative winger. We can't directly replace him with another winger. Yeah, I think you're right there. I think you'd probably have to get a striker that can score 15 goals and then another forward, maybe like Mbuemo. I think he's the one that's been linked quite a bit, but I don't know. Danny says these owners don't pay Trent what he wants and matches ambition is gone. It's that simple. He ain't staying. If they don't keep VVD, Salah, common sense would tell you that, in my opinion. I don't think it's a money thing for Trent, though. I honestly don't. Obviously, Trent wants to be paid what he's worth, and he deserves to be one of the most paid players in the Premier League. But I honestly just feel with Trent, if he wants to leave, it's because Real Madrid have an amazing project, and just the thought of playing with Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior. I honestly think it would be a lot more to do with that than money. That's how I feel anyway. I could be wrong, and it could be money orientated, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would just be a project thing. Oh, Salah to PSG has been rumored as it. I haven't seen that, but it would make sense because they've not really signed anyone, have they, since losing Mbappe? I know they signed Kolo Muani. They've obviously got Bradley Barcola, but I think there is a space in that squad for a big name. Let's have a look at this one then from ESPN. This came out today. Breaking: Real Madrid are tracking Trent Alexander-Arnold to replace Dani Carvajal after his injury. Madrid has been tracking him for some time, and he has been seen as a market opportunity rather than a priority. It's not clear if he's decided to leave Liverpool. So ESPN is saying that Trent hasn't even said yet if he wants to leave or not. So everyone that's making out that Trent's already gone, I would advise you to stop because he hasn't, and he's not communicated a decision either way yet. So until that happens, I'm going to be, as calm as I can be. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a bit panicked because why wouldn't you be? He's got 2 months until he can start speaking to Real Madrid officially. But until that happens, then I am going to be as relaxed as I can be. Should we get on to some good news, guys? Should we get on to some good news? I'm just trying to get something off the screen that's popped up because we don't want 20% off Liverpool training gear. I mean, some people might, but I don't. And I don't know how to get rid of it. Give me 1 second. Let me get rid of this. Maybe later. Boom. There it is. Here is the good news. Salah already said not Saudi. Did he? See, I miss all this stuff now. With the job that I work at the minute, I'm not really allowed on my phone during the day. So all of this stuff that LFC Shankly is saying, I've not seen. So I appreciate you for keeping me in the loop. But anyway, breaking news from an hour or so ago. Jarrel Quansah signs a new long-term contract for Liverpool. And I couldn't be more happy with this news, to be honest. And like I said earlier, you know, people are like, oh, why are we renewing these guys when we've got 3 other players that we need to renew? What? So we just got to let one of the most talented young centre backs in Europe not renew because we need other players to renew? It makes no sense when people moan about stuff like that to me. I think this is brilliant news. Again, this is just like making sure that Quansah doesn't have that same issue where he's running short on his contract. And this obviously shows that Slot has immense faith in Jarrel Quansah. Shall we read what Jarrel Quansah actually had to say? It says the 21-year-old centre-back who joined the academy at the age of 5 committed his future to the club at the AXA training centre. After putting pen to paper, Quansah told LFC.com, I couldn't be happier at this minute. I think the way the new managers come in, his coaching style has definitely been a massive part of that. And I think it is the best club in the world for me to develop at and become a better player. Massive words there from Jarrel Quansah. I think the players around me who I'm looking to work hard off and listen to, I think they're the best in the position at the minute. So like I said, there's probably no better place I can be. And of course, he's referring mainly to Virgil van Dijk. I mean, imagine being a young centre-back and being coached and sort of mentored by Virgil van Dijk. The confidence that you must have learning and listening to that man literally every single day must be mad. But yeah, Jarrel Quansah has signed a new long-term contract. We cannot watch the video for copyright reasons, but let me know what you think of that news, guys. Are you buzzing with that? I mean, I don't know why anybody wouldn't be happy with that, to be honest. It's amazing news. Let's see. Bond says pay Trent 400k a week on a 5-year deal. If only it was that simple, my friend. If only it was that simple, I'm sure they would have done that by now. I'm sure that would be done already. Shankly says, great news on Quansah. He was buzzing on signing a new contract. Yeah, you can see how happy he is, man. Like, I'm fair play to the kid, you know. He's come from, where was he at before? Bristol Rovers, playing under Joey Barton. how can you go from playing for Bristol Rovers under Joey Barton to last season when he came in? And I think he was starting quite a few games relatively early on in the season. I remember I was at Newcastle away, and I believe he came on in that game. I think he may have started a couple more as well. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. It's all a blur. But yeah, the faith that we had in Jarrel Quansah last season when everyone was saying get a centre back, and yeah, maybe they were right. We should have got a centre back, but I think Quansah was a big reason as to why we weren't so like desperate to go and get one, just because of how good he is and how mature he is. And like I said, going from playing under Joey Barton to Jurgen Klopp and Arne Slot at Liverpool, yeah, fair play to the kid. And Bond says Slot is a coach, not a manager. He has no say on signings. Well, does he? Because I remember when he came in, he said in his interviews that he was working closely with Richard Hughes on signings and all those kind of things. So I think you'd be surprised. People just think, oh, the Slot's come in and he's like not really got any say and he's not got any input just because he's a head coach and not a manager. But he literally said himself that he's working close with Richard Hughes and they talk every single day. So I think you'd be surprised at the input that he has. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to leave it there tonight. We've been going on for half an hour and I need to go and do a couple of things. So massive appreciation to every single person that has joined the stream, every single person that's commented and smashed a like. Again, really, really massive apologies from myself for, first of all, being late. Second of all, the connection being all over the place. I've connected it to another Wi-Fi connection and it seems to have been a lot better. So I know for the next time which one to connect it to. But make sure you smash the like button on the way out, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Big streams coming up, special coming on the channel as well as rival opposition fans from other clubs, some big content creators. So you don't want to miss it. This is the YouTube place to be. We've obviously got daily Liverpool videos coming up on the channel every single day. at the minute, and then I come on live a bit later on to talk to you guys on a more personal level and just engage and have a conversation. So thank you once again to everybody who tuned in. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and have a great end to your week.